What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live for this special edition for the Avengers Endgame. Now, I'm doing this just kind of, to kind of, share my hype for the movie and, go over a couple of things. Obviously, the movie has been, the review embargo has been lifted and people are beginning to talk about the movie now. And, I want to share my thoughts on some of the reactions that we've already had so far. Now, before I get into that, I just want to let you all know, make sure you stay to the end where I will shamelessly probably plug some products and services and flap my gums about a giveaway that I will be doing for a copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman. So make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment, and all that good stuff. Now, as I said, we are in the end game now, man. We're almost there. We're just a couple of days away. It's Tuesday, man. It is Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. We're almost there. And, I can't say that, I couldn't be any more excited. I'm not sure if you all seen, I just shared a post, I believe, it was yesterday during the Trailer Park News. I left a link down in the description for a video that I took part of. It was, what was it called? The Fandom Initiative, the Marvel Cinematic Universe Experience. It was over on Nerdy Blurb TV. I'll see if I can put a link to that down in this description as well. You should definitely go and check that out tonight, tomorrow sometime, maybe before you go watch Avengers Endgame, because I'm telling you, I watched that, just that little thing that he done there with a bunch of us YouTube creators. And I'm telling you, that thing, I think that video got me more hyped than any of the Marvel Studios trailers have done, man. Like, seriously, like, I watched that video, I was like, holy crap. This dude, Ryan, over at Nerdy Blurb TV, does a superior job of editing movies and things like that. You have to go and check out Ryan over at Nerdy Blurb. I'm telling you, go check out his channel. If you like what he does, subscribe. And if you don't like what he does, subscribe as well and let him know like what you don't like. I'm telling you, he will do what he not to satisfy you, but he will do something that, to, I don't know, maybe more cater to your needs or your wants, because we're not all out there making content to satisfy everybody, obviously. We want viewers, but sometimes some people come to, there are people out there who like to cross swords, and that's what they're here for, and that's fine. That's cool. You're part of the community as well. It's okay to disagree. Just something that seems a lot of people don't necessarily, how would you say, care so much about or grasp or take hold of anymore. It's okay to disagree. Everybody likes to have knee-jerk reactions, and that's something I've talked about plenty here on this channel, and I'm not sure that I really need to talk about it much more. So anyway, with all that being out of the way, like I said, go check out Nerdy Blurb TV. He's got an excellent channel, talks about comic books, movies, different things, books, and just a whole bunch of different nerdy stuff. So you should go check him out. Check him out. Tell him I sent you. And if you don't know who I am Trinity. My channel here is the Second Street Model. Tell him Trinity sent you. He'll know who you're talking about. So yeah. But like I said, I'm so hyped for this film. Even my kids are psyched out for this film. I mean, even I was like talking to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm waiting." My son. I was like, "What are you waiting for, Logan?" And he's like, "Is Spider-Man in it?" Which is funny because he's out there playing the PS4 Spider-Man game right now. But I told him, no, not necessarily. But is he? Do we really know? I don't know. But anyway, like I said, I'm so hyped for this film. I was watching the red carpet premiere last night. The premiere down in Hollywood. Actually, I guess it was purple carpet in this case. But man, I'm telling you, watching that, watching all those interviews and everything, it was really cool seeing all that stuff. I've never been to a world premiere, and I probably won't ever be at one. It would be pretty cool to be at one. But anyway, I was watching it, and I was just like, man, like, I don't know. I guess I kind of maybe I felt somewhat how they were. Maybe just like the atmosphere, because I felt so hyped up watching the whole thing. And I don't normally get excited for those kinds of things. It's like, oh wow, it's a movie premiere. But I mean, I think that just goes to speaks to exactly what this movie is. We've talked about this here on the channel before. Is this movie is. And that's the thing, like, about those leaks that happened last week with the movie. Like, this movie is the culmination of, like, over, like, 11 years worth of films releasing. But it's been, well over, I don't know, 13, 14 years since they've probably been producing these films. I mean, it's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears putting this thing together. And so, like, it's really like a cultural phenomenon. That's what's so special about this, is everybody's so psyched up about this. Like I said, even my mom was hyped up when we left Avengers Infinity War. She was like, oh my god, I have to go back and watch all of those movies before I go see the next one. Because like she knew there was going to be a next one too, obviously, the way it ended, it was just like, so wow, like, and she so I mean, if it can draw in, a viewer like my mom, I mean, these movies are doing something right. And like I said, it's a cultural phenomenon. Like I see in my local theater actually has showings at 7:00 a.m. Not tomorrow, but on Friday. And I'm like, I've never seen a movie premiere that early at our theater, or the theater opened that early for a movie ever. I don't even think it did for Infinity War. That's how many screenings that they've added for these things. It's absolutely crazy. And like I said, I was watching that red carpet, the world premiere last night when they were all walking up and they were interviewing everybody and talking to them. I'm not sure if you checked that out here on the Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel. It was pretty cool stuff. And they were interviewing a bunch of the different stars and everything. A lot of them were pretty funny. And since the rest of this isn't gonna be, I just wanted to make one note. Did anybody else see Benedict Cumberbatch come up there and get interviewed? Like, seriously, like, through all of the people in the MCU, and yes, I'm getting political here really quick. Through all of the people in the MCU, so many people out there are outspoken, like, leftists and all this stuff, just, like, it's so ridiculous, okay? Not one of them said one damn thing about politics, except for Benedict Cumberbatch, the one person who's not even an American citizen, okay? He gets up there and starts making, some hoo-ha about, Trump, and we need to take back that word, in the English language, get it to mean back what it's supposed to mean. Like, it's like, dude, like, seriously, Benedict, like, here is the time and place for that? I don't think so, dude. Like, no, like, seriously, you got Chris Evans here on the red carpet, purple carpet. You got Mark Ruffalo. You got Scarlett Johansson. You got all these people who are outspoken leftists and, like, completely staunchly against Trump. Most of these people have voiced their opinions about that. And none of them say one damn thing through this whole premiere, but Benedict Cumberbatch, somebody who's not even an American citizen, and, that doesn't really even, I guess in the long scheme of things, it does affect him, but this dude of all people actually has something to say. What? Dude, no. What are you doing? Once again, this is just like one other little thing that somebody just had to come out and say something. Somebody had to put, their little political say-so, and it's like, you know what, like I get it, everybody, has their opinions and everything on politics. That's fine, but I think for the most part, man, I don't know. It seems like most people I know, no matter whether they're conservatives or liberals or whatever, it seems like none of them seem to want to see any of these people using their stage and talking about the politics during these types of things. Like, you got a different platform for that. And you got your Twitter and you got all that stuff. Do it on there. What, like, you're picking the world premiere to say something, Benedict? Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like I said, he's entitled to have his opinions. Everybody's entitled to have your opinions. But like I said, nobody else chose to do it but Benedict Cumberbatch. Man, come on, Benedict. Come on, dude. You're a great actor, but, and a lot of these people are, but seriously, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place, and this just isn't the time or the place, because we're here for Avengers Endgame, not politics, man. That stuff is interweaved in the movie anyway, so jog on with all that. it's just, I don't know, it just kind of gets me annoyed. Like I said, politics are a part of our everyday lives, so it's not necessarily that. It's when you have to come out and just say something like, come on, dude, like, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I was watching the world premiere here, and man, I was getting so hyped up seeing a lot of these people. And then, obviously we probably all seen all the interviews, and they, at one point they were talking to Jon Favreau, and we all know that Jon Favreau basically kicked off the MCU with the first Iron Man film. He's the Godfather. I'm not sure if anybody out there will get that reference. Anyway, but he basically started. He was the first director of the first movies, and of the first movie in the MCU, and it was great. Obviously, Kevin Feige has been the producer since the very beginning as well. But man, he was out there, and then all of a sudden, Robert Downey Jr. was there. Then Gwyneth Paltrow came up, and God, did that point? I can't remember if Chris Hemsworth came up at that point too. But they were all sitting there on the stage. I'm like, man, that was like so cool, because obviously those three, Gwyneth Paltrow, Robert Downey Jr., and Jon Favreau were all like the people who basically they were there at the very start. They were the stars of Iron Man, the director of Iron Man, and they were all there. And seeing them all there, that was like really cool, because I'm a huge Jon Favreau fan anyway, though I haven't seen those live action adaptations of his Disney films. But anyway, that aside, I love all the films that he's done. There's another one I didn't see, that Cowboys and Aliens or whatever. I didn't see that neither, but I want to. But that was a really cool moment, seeing all of those people out there on stage. I don't know, just talking and interacting. It was really funny seeing, oh God, who was it? Chris Hemsworth? No, not Chris Hemsworth. Chris Pratt was actually being interviewed, and Scarlett Johansson came up there, and he grabbed the microphone from the girl doing the interview, and he started interviewing Scarlett Johansson right there. Hilarity. It was absolute hilarity. And and it was all good stuff. And then they were just interviewing the different people. Paul Rudd, Paul Rudd is absolutely, undeniably one of the coolest dudes out there. Like, I want to meet this dude one of these days. Like, this is like one of my celebrity bucket list meets. Like, I want to meet this dude. He's absolutely great. And in case you don't know, like, Ant-Man is one of my favorite films in the MCU, and a lot of that is due to Paul Rudd. Just his abilities as an actor to do what he does just blows me away every single time I see it. Every time I see him in something, it's just absolutely great. Love his stuff. So anyway, like I said, all that really just like kind of just builds my hype for the movie. And I'm so hyped up to see this movie. I'm going to go see it on Thursday. Going to get on Friday night, like late Friday night, and because I am going to go see it in 3D. I'm not really huge into 3D, but I still got to see it in IMAX 3D and just see how it is. Okay, it's just something I got to do. But then I'm going to go on Saturday with my family. We're going to an early matinee, and then going again on Sunday. I'll see if there's any other time I could fit in there to watch it between now and again, then again. And there's always Discount Tuesday coming up like the next week. So there's plenty of opportunities to go see Avengers Endgame. I've got my tickets. Do you got yours? Man, I can't tell you, man. I can't be any more. Dude, I'm so hyped for this film. And so now there were recently, obviously the review embargo recently lifted, and people started sharing their thoughts about the movie. Now, I'm not like a reviewer or anybody big like that, so I wasn't there. I can't say anything. I don't know anything. But there are other people out there who released their... Now, last night, as of last night, basically like 10 p.m. last night, 10 or 10:30 p.m., they were allowed to share their initial, like their thoughts, I guess. So, not a review, but they were basically allowed to say, like the reaction, I guess you could say. And for the most part, it was all pretty good. Everybody liked the film. And I think everybody's taken note. I'm not sure if you guys I talk about them a lot here on this channel, like War Stew and the Den of Nerds. They all, and I'm sure everybody else out there is doing videos about all the reactions as well. like I said, for the most part, they were all pretty much overwhelmingly good. And the one bad one out of the crowd seems to be John Campea. And in case you don't know, I'm a huge fan of the John Campea show. We are fans here at Second Street Marvel of John Campea. So I completely like John Campea and I respect his opinion. Now, like the Den of Nerds, they were saying perhaps they think that, maybe he done this a little bit so he's not just like everybody else praising the film, because, not a lot of these movies aren't, no movie is perfect, okay? And if in case you don't know, Captain America with the Winter Soldier, I believe, is John Campea's favorite MCU film. And honestly, it's really one of the best ones out there. And so that being said, I mean, what's it going to take to top that movie for him? Okay, and not only that, but like when he says, because he said that like the first two-thirds of the film were mediocre. Okay, so the first two acts were mediocre, and the last hour was great, absolutely just great. Okay, now the thing is him saying that, a lot of people, now here's one thing you got to realize, and it's something I always tell people when they're talking about football and things like that, is when you're talking about a professional football team or hockey team or whatnot, like, oh, the Kansas City Chiefs suck, oh, the Chicago Blackhawks suck. Okay, now you got to realize they suck for a professional team, okay? For a professional team. Like, these are, like, they're on a professional team. They're already the best of the best already, okay? So to say that the first two acts are mediocre, I mean, you got to think that they're mediocre Marvel, okay? And this is just what I take from it. You got to think that they're mediocre Marvel films, okay? So you're thinking of mediocre. So for me, according to my ranking list, mediocre falls somewhere around, I don't know, I would say like Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2, mediocre. Those are mediocre ones. There's better out there, and those are good ones too. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. And that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, you got to think they're like that level, okay? Mediocre, It seems like Ant-Man and Wasp, like as far as like sales and everything, Ant-Man and Wasp is kind of at the lower part of the sales thing, and so the box office. So it would seem okay. That's mediocre. Okay, Ant-Man and Wasp. That's not a bad thing. So him saying the first two acts are mediocre, that's a good thing. There's other film franchises out there. There's other movies out there that wish that they could do Marvel mediocre. Okay. So I don't take his review as a bad thing at all. I think it's actually a good thing. I mean, because to me, like what I've expected out of this film, and I haven't talked about this in a while, one of the things I kind of expect out of this movie was that basically, if you've ever seen Kill Bill, have you seen Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2? I'm kind of expecting it to be somewhat like that. Like, I expect, like, the first one was just like jam-packed with action, like Kill Bill Volume 1, a lot of action and everything, not so much story. And the second one had more story, and it still had action in there, okay? So I'm expecting something a little more like that out of Avengers Endgame. I expect, like, Infinity War was just like all the action and everything, and then Avengers Endgame is going to be more story and along with the action. Not like there's going to be any less action or anything like that, but like they've got a lot of things that they've got to do in this film. They've got a lot of ground to cover, and for it to be like all out action just like the first one was, I just don't see that happening. Now I'm not saying that there's not going to be any action or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, I did not say that. What I'm saying is that I expect it to be less action than there was from the previous film. Hello, Lance's Football. Hello, welcome from Brazil. It's very nice to have you here. Share this video with a friend and invite him to come check us out here. I'm just gonna be talking about some Avengers Endgame tonight. Just kind of my hype for the film. Like, I'm so hyped to see this film. What about you? How you feeling about this film, man? I'm telling you, I can't wait to see this film. Are you going to go see it? When are you going to go see it? Let me know down in the comments below. So yes, I honestly can't remember. Yeah, so like I was saying, the first two acts being mediocre, I mean, that's completely fine with me. Like I said, you got to think they're Marvel mediocre. So like I said, there's a lot of films out there that wish they were Marvel mediocre. There's a lot of films I've seen I wish were Marvel mediocre. You know what I mean? So I don't take that as a bad thing at all. And like I said, I kind of expect
more story out of this one than action, just a little bit more, because just there's a lot of blanks that got to be filled in, and just listening to the reviews afterward, it sounds like a lot of us, a lot of it's gonna be a very good movie, and I think it kind of depends on what your expectations are for the film. And I know for me, I think this movie is gonna meet every single one of my expectations. I completely trust Joe and Anthony Russo. Kevin Feige, as a producer, has not let us down once. He hasn't, even in the times when they have had, I guess you could say, controversy. He's been steadfast. And the first example I could think of, the biggest one I could think of, was Edgar Wright in the first Ant-Man movie. Okay, obviously there was a big debacle there with Edgar Wright, and that ends up Peyton Reed is directing the movie. So there's that. There's that. But other than that, like I said, he was even steadfast through that. They got the movie made. It was an excellent movie. One of my favorite films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It really was. And so there was that, and then obviously they had some stumbles with I guess there was Terrence Howard, after the first film going into the second film. There was that too, but like I said, it's had its shortcomings as well. Then obviously the thing with James Gunn, and that's again that wasn't necessarily Kevin Feige's fault. That was just something that happened, and unfortunately Disney had a knee-jerk reaction to the whole situation, and you got to kind of understand that from their perspective as well. They're a huge company. They got a lot of stockholders and things like that. They've got people that they've got to answer to, and not just people who are the higher ups of the company, but they've got, like I said, they've got stockholders. They've got people that they have to answer to. And, when a big company like that has stockholders, that means their number one obligation is to increase the bottom line, to make profits for the shareholders, okay? So you always got to remember that. So, I've talked a lot about knee-jerk reactions in all of these things before, and like I said, I'm against them. I think they should have thought it through a little more, especially now, considering what their stance was, and then they brought him back and completely, it kind of reverses their stance. I'm not saying they did the right thing or the wrong thing, because they did the wrong thing in the first place, and then what they're doing now to rectify it isn't necessarily the right thing either. So, let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that whole James Gunn thing. To me, it's just, it's wishy-washy. I wasn't sad that he was gone. They could have got plenty of different directors to come in and fill in for James Gunn. They could have. There's a lot of different directors they could have got to come out and, make a new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Barbara French, Bob and I are going on May 2nd. Can't wait. All right, May 2nd, yes. That's coming up pretty quick. It's coming up so fast. I'm telling you, I can't wait. I'm so hyped up to see this film. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Like I said, the culmination of over it's nearly 15 years of work these people have been doing to produce these films, and like I said, they're breaking new ground, as we can see. They're breaking records along the way. So they've done something right. Now, after Avengers Endgame, I don't expect that it's going to be any more. I don't think that it's going to necessarily grow, or we're not going to get another big blockbuster like this for a really long time. This is something. It's like I said, it's never really been done before, and it may never be done again. But it's possible to be done again if they do it the right way. If they continue doing what they have done, they can repeat this once again. And all they got to do is what they've continued to do is introduce some more characters, do some good, get some good actors in these roles to portray these characters, get these good portrayals out there, and not even rebuild, but build a whole other universe within the universe that they've already built, and then add to that, the universe that they already had. A lot of people are talking about Chris Evans retiring from the role and Robert Downey Jr. retiring from the role, and they very well could be, but I still of the opinion that after these movies come out, and I'm maybe not even right after the premiere here, but soon after that, we're probably going to hear that these actors probably sign new contracts to come on and play these characters again in the future. Not necessarily soon, maybe not within the next 5 years, but maybe soon after that in a movie that's going to culminate in something a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger, but maybe not quite as big as what Avengers Endgame is. They're probably going to save that for another few years down the road after that. You know, maybe they kind of toss in some cameos with everybody through another phase of Marvel films, and then they do another huge film bringing a lot of them together once again. By that time, we may have the X-Men in the MCU, and then we may just get to see everybody on screen together. Maybe we get to see Captain America. Maybe we get to see Iron Man together on the screen with Wolverine, with Professor Xavier, with Magneto, with all of the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Fantastic Four. Maybe we get Ghost Rider. It would be great. Well, okay, I'm just gonna completely give up hope to the Punisher. I guess they're gonna have to save that for Fox. Seriously, they will. There's absolutely no way that you can actually make a good Punisher movie without making it rated R. If you ask me, I don't know that it can be done. We haven't got one yet. Okay, and don't give me none of that Netflix crap. Okay, now let me just tell you one thing. I love John Bernthal. I thought he'd done good as the Punisher, but let's be honest here. That Punisher that we got out of the Netflix series, come on. It was good, but come on. You know, it's hard enough to hook me on all these series anyway. So, you know, getting me into that, it was kind of tough. It was kind of tough to watch. You know, it's like pulling teeth watching these series for me. Except for a lot of people may laugh at this, but Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I absolutely love that show. I've been in it since the beginning. Now, the first season was hard to make it through. A lot of people kind of gave up during then, but, you know, and going into the second season, I was like, okay, you guys got to do more. I mean, Clark Gregg can only carry this series so long. And they did. They actually started stepping up the game slowly and progressively. Like, through the seasons, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got really good. It's like I said, it's probably the one show that I actually watched. And it was tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe there for a little while. So it's definitely a good show. I really do like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And like I said, you know, Phil Coulson, you know, Clark Gregg playing Phil Coulson is absolutely phenomenal. He's great in that role, you know, and I really wish we would have got more of him in the Captain Marvel movie. And speaking of which, I can't wait for that one to come out, so I can go watch it. I need to go. Maybe I should just go to the theater and see that one again before. Maybe I'll just do that tonight. It is Discount Tuesday, isn't it? I don't know. There might be time after this. Anyway, I want to go see Captain Marvel again, and like I said, I just can't wait for this movie. Yeah, I honestly can't. And like I said, the early reviews are trickling in and everything, and you know, for the most part, it's pretty overwhelmingly largely received really well, and I had no doubts that it would be. Like I said, I trust these producers, these directors, all these actors. It's going to be great to see this movie finally come to life on the big screen. And man, we've all been waiting. And you know, somebody recently tweeted out there. One of the people that I follow there on Twitter tweeted out that, you know, and it's big news, is that Marvel Studios said they spent over, I don't know, like 200 million maybe. 200 million probably, promoting this movie. And I'm like, yeah, I'd say it's been like 11 years. They spent a lot promoting this movie, okay? It's not just the campaign that they've been running this far. You gotta think, this movie is the culmination of all this time, and that they're saying that it's gonna, you know, kind of tie everything together in a neat little box and a little bow and all that, and it's gonna be all nice and sweet at the very end. And I think it's gonna be. But the thing is, you gotta think that it's all that building up. They spent a lot of money building this movie up, not just the movie, but the money marketing this movie, just like right now running trailers and everything. I mean, it's the culmination of all of them. Think about how much they have spent all together, okay? Think of how much we've spent all together. Hell, I've probably paid for half of the Marvel Cinematic Universe myself. I'm sure you have as well. And you know what? Thank you. And thank all the other fans who ever go out there and watch these movies, at not only at the theater, but buy them when they come out on Blu-ray, or you know, even just all the different things, because it lets them know that we like this and that we want more. And as long as they keep giving us what they've been giving us so far, I'm game, man. They haven't done anything bad yet. Like bad, like truly bad. Okay, like. I mean, yeah, they've got some stinkers. I mean, maybe to me they're not even stinkers. They're just movies that aren't as good as some of the other films. That's really, if you ask me, that's all it is. And they've managed to do it this well so far, and I completely trust what they're going to do in the next phase. And so apparently they're going more cosmic, and that's completely cool. And it kind of made me, I kind of started to wonder yesterday. I was watching Thor Ragnarok, and in Thor Ragnarok, Hela actually comes in and she goes, Odin conquered the 9 realms, but why did he stop there? And it made me think. Obviously, in the comic books, we know there's 10 realms, and it made me wonder what is the 10th realm in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because obviously, Hela alluded to it right there in that movie when she said that he conquered the 9 realms, but why stop there? So basically, he had the 9 realms under his rule, under his protection, to which at this point Thor is charged with protecting. So, and it made me start to wonder, what is the 10th realm? So obviously, they basically, in a way, teased that 10th realm in the movie. So I'm sure plenty of people have probably talked about this before, and maybe they haven't, but I can't imagine I'm the only one that noticed that she basically teased that there are more than 9 realms in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And, it just kind of made me start to wonder, like, yeah, what, because there is that theory out there that Hela is actually was actually trapped in the Soul Stone, and upon Odin dying, that's why she came back. There's some of those theories out there that I've heard. I don't know, something like that, and it actually makes sense that maybe he did go through and collect all the Infinity Stones, and maybe he did sacrifice Hela, and she got trapped in the Reality Stone or in the Soul Stone, and that's where she's been hanging out at. I mean, now that theory actually starts to make more sense. When you kind of put all the pieces together. Of course, this is all theories, and you start just thinking about them, and when you think about it, it actually makes sense. It actually makes sense that he did, and that's how they praise like the Norse gods and everything, like Odin and stuff in Norway, and that's where the Tesseract was actually laid at. That's where it was. It was there being protected. So that, and in case you don't know, the Tesseract was the Space Stone. Now then, it's been my speculation that actually the Power Stone was actually in Wakanda at one time as well. Now, the reason I think this is we see at the beginning of Black Panther how it came crashing to how the vibranium came crashing, or whatever it was, the meteor came crashing to the earth, and it landed in Wakanda and enriched the soil. Now, it's my theory, it has been my theory, that it was actually the Power Stone that crashed to the earth. As you can see, when it enriches the soil and everything, it glows purple like the Power Stone. We get the purple heart-shaped herb out of it, and also, like you see, like basically the properties of vibranium would actually be, if the Power Stone landed there, would be the mineral that it enriched to create vibranium. So I don't know, it's just kind of a theory that I've had about it. GTD FS. Here the movie comes earlier. Oh, it comes. Oh, are you guys getting in to see it tomorrow, or are you getting to see it on Thursday? Like, because I'm gonna it opens here officially on Friday, but I actually they do early screenings of it on Thursday, so I'll be seeing it on Thursday at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm not sure how that works for you. I mean, it may be a little earlier or later for you, but I mean, is it coming earlier than Thursday evening for you all? Let me know down in the comments. I mean, that's cool, but yeah, that's awesome, and congratulations, man. I'm almost jealous you get to watch it earlier than me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so hyped for this film. I'm sure you are as well. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna be there. If you're on this stream, you're probably hyped to see this film as well. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't wait. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I think the Power Stone actually landed in Wakanda, and that's why all these things are like I said, purple colored. You see his suit when it absorbs power and disperses it, it's purple colored, like the Power Stone is purple. Okay, but also the purple heart-shaped herb basically gives Black Panther the same powers that Dr. Erskine's formula gave to Steve Rogers. Okay, I think maybe he got some of the heart-shaped herb or something, or somehow replicated the same properties of the purple heart-shaped herb, which I believe is basically derives from the power of the Power Stone. So there's that, so that's two of them that are right there, on Earth, and Odin is, basically the protector of Midgard. Okay, so and then you also got to think that, maybe he started his own Infinity Watch after he traps Hela in the Soul Stone, and maybe it just coincidentally always goes back to Vormir. And then maybe, obviously the Time Stone, maybe he actually gave it to the Ancient One for it to be protected there on Earth. As we can see in Thor, I believe it was the first Thor, no, it was the second Thor movie, Thor: The Dark World. We see at the very beginning that they actually left the Tesseract there in Norway in, I believe, 796 AD. So it was a long time ago. So thousands of years, like just about 1500 years ago. Isn't that about right? Yeah, I think. Yeah, so about 1500 years ago. So perhaps maybe Odin actually started his own Infinity Watch at the one time. Remember, even in Thor Ragnarok, when Hela goes and she throws all the knives at the ceiling, and all the art comes down, and you see all the art on the ceiling. And there, I looked on there, you only see 9 realms. But again, she said 9 realms that he conquered. So there was more. She said, why does he stop there? So there was actually more, but it makes me think, what is the next realm that he didn't conquer? And in case you've watched any of my other videos, the other day I was actually just did a live video last week where I was talking about one realm being Limbo. I was talking about maybe the chances of Immortus showing up, because Immortus is actually he's the ruler. What is he? He's the master of time and the ruler over the mystic realm of Limbo, where things never change. Hence, like Thanos saying about, his line about destiny, dread it, run from it, destiny still arrives. Okay. So, I don't know, maybe, just maybe. And are we going to get that? I don't know. Obviously from the reviews, nobody's going to say all that. But like I said, what is the 10th realm? Or is there 11 realms? Or is there more? Who knows? But what is the other realms that Odin didn't conquer? Okay, so you got to think that if there is that other realm, there's probably somebody outside in that other realm that Odin didn't conquer, that he's not protector of, that he got to go... that he didn't go conquer, and they've been out there probably planning and plotting against the other 9 realms, and maybe they've amassed a huge army that they're going to set forth on, the other 9 realms, kind of like we're getting out of the War of the Realms comics, if you follow the comics. FSGTDFS says, today, here it's already Wednesday at 2:36, and the first session is at 20. Ooh, nice. Wow, okay, so you're getting ready to go, in what, about 18 more hours? That's not too bad. Okay, that's Wednesday, so that's Wednesday for us. Wow, that's cool. Enjoy the show, man. I it's going to be great. I know it's going to be epic. Like I said, I'm sure we've all got our high expectations for this film. I honestly think that they're all going to be met. I think they're going to meet all our expectations. I completely trust the studio, the directors, everybody in charge, and all the people that are involved with this project. I can't wait to see it. I don't think we're going to get disappointed. Now, are there some things that aren't going to happen in the movie? Sure, of course. We've all guessed so many things and speculate on so many different things that we think is going to happen in this movie. For even all the ones that I kind of think are going to happen, even expect, I honestly don't think half of them are going to be met, or we're even going to see them. I mean, maybe we're just going to get some things that are just so crazy and off the wall, we're just not going to see it coming. And, it's certainly possible, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what we're going to get out of this film. I think it's going to be, truly something to talk about for a long time. And, even after Spider-Man Far From Home comes, I think we're still going to be talking about Avengers Endgame. Probably up until the next time we get another big event like this. Because, like I said, this is the culmination of these first chapters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a sight to behold, man. It kind of just makes me think of a scene out of Captain America: The First Avenger in 1940. Would have been 1943, when Dr. Zola first recreated the power of the Tesseract, and he says, "This is going to change the war." And Red Skull says, "This is going to change the world." Yes, it is, man. This movie's huge. Okay, I'm not going to sleep. Yes, man. No, for sure. I wouldn't either. Like I said, I'm gonna go see the movie on. Here it's gonna be Thursday evening. I'm gonna go see it on Thursday evening. I'm gonna go see it on Friday late night. Then I'm gonna go see it again on Saturday morning. Then I'm gonna go see it again on Sunday morning. So I got movies. I got viewings to go see it. Tickets to go see it the whole weekend. And yeah, I believe me, I'm gonna have a shortness of sleep by the end of the weekend. I'm gonna have a shortness of sleep. And again, thank you for coming to check out my channel. You can check out some of the other videos that I've done here where I've gone on just some of my crazy theories and things like that. I don't know, things that I may think may happen in the movie. Some of them are kind of crazy. I can't wait to go back and watch some of them. And I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna probably cut some of them up and release them in a video of things that I predicted that didn't happen in Avengers Endgame, and maybe some things that did happen, if anything that I, happened to predicted comes true. I'm sorry that they will end up with most of the characters. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about Disney, as far as Disney ending up with most of the characters? I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, it does kind of start to get to be a lot to juggle. So I think they're going to have challenges ahead of them once Disney actually starts integrating all these people into their films. It's going to be hard to, like I said, to balance it all, because will they add an extra movie per year, or will they keep it at 3, and that's what we're going to get more of out of the Disney streaming service, is some of the tie-in, maybe movies and this miniseries that are going to help build the universe even more. I honestly don't know. I mean, but it is a lot for them to juggle, to take on all these characters. I mean, it really is. At this point, I almost feel bad for Kevin Feige, but you got to think that he's been dreaming about this for years. So I think he kind of knows what to expect. It's just going to be a lot more on his shoulders, and the production teams all together, bringing more of these characters together to bring to the big screen. So, and especially when you think about building, like, the Fantastic Four is one thing. There's 4 characters there. And I've talked about the X-Men before. The X-Men is a completely different beast in itself, because you got to think that not only with the X-Men, you got 2 different factions when it comes down to it, of the X-Men, because you've got the Charles Xavier side of the good side of the mutants, and then you've got the Magneto side, the Eric Lenscher side of the equation, who is basically like he's the bad guy, but he's not necessarily a bad guy. And that's the thing, he kind of blurs the lines. He's just got a different outlook on how things are, like where he thinks that the mutants are superior, and they are superior and should be ruling over man. And because of what he went through, his own personal struggles, he thinks, he basically takes on the exact same role that his oppressors did in the comic books and in the movies. So they're going to have a lot to deal with as far as characters in these movies. And that's the one thing, like the X-Men universe is so big that it's going to be a lot to deal with. And so when you do an X-Men, you got to think about, they've got to introduce not only Professor Xavier and Magneto, but then they've got to introduce all the characters around there. And all of those characters, whether they're on Magneto's side or Professor Xavier's side, they all have compelling reasons for why they are on the side they are, for why they choose to be on those sides and fight. Come on in. They all have their reasons to be on the sides that they're on, and I can't wait to see those stories. It's going to be a lot to fill in and talk about. What's up? No, we don't have it. We don't have it. Sorry, there's my kids right there. But so it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be something interesting to see how they do. Like, if you've seen, I did a video about this before. I think that we're not gonna get an X-Men movie for a while, and the reason why is I think that they're gonna take and introduce certain characters to build up the X-Men universe, and then do an X-Men movie just like they did the Avengers. I think they're gonna get some characters together, introduce them, build them up, introduce more characters, maybe do a little bit of backstories in some of these, so they kind of fill in some more of the blanks with these characters. Like I said, they build the universe, and then we're gonna get the X-Men film later down the line. That's just what I think. I could completely be wrong, but it's just a lot of characters and a huge universe in itself to cram into just one X-Men movie. And I think that's part of the reason that like Fox had the problems that they did when they did it, because they went so Logan centric. They really focused on just Logan, because he's a great character. Obviously Wolverine is a great character, but they focused on him too much and didn't really focus on any of the other characters. And you can't necessarily blame them for that, because they were breaking their own ground at the time. Nobody else was doing what they were doing. So, much like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you got to think about that. They just went too Logan-centric. I think they've got to take time building all of these characters the same way that they did with Iron Man, with Thor, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, with Ant-Man. And the Guardians of the Galaxy are actually proof that they can take a handful of characters. At first they only had the core, was the 4 of them, 5 of them? In that first movie that they brought together. So, and they still didn't do that great of a job, because we didn't really get any backstory for most of these characters, any real reason to care about these characters in the first place. We got some reason to care about Peter Quill. We got a little bit of backstory there. We got some reason, some backstory on Gamora, but that's really about it. I mean, we don't get any backstory on Groot or Rocket or Drax. We get some backstory on them, they tell us about them, but no real compelling reason to actually care about some of the characters in that particular franchise. So, like I said, there's a lot to juggle there, and getting all those characters into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think it's going to prove to be a challenge for them, but I think it's going to be good. End up with most of the characters. I mean, it's going to end Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. Oh yes, and their story arcs and everything. I think, I don't know. A lot of people, we've talked about the deaths and everything, and everybody's been talking about that, and it just seems like people are overly obsessed with snuffing out our Earth's mightiest heroes, and I don't want to see that happen. Now, I think maybe some of them will take, like I said, backseat roles, because they said a long time ago that the next phase of movies that they're going to do is going to be like more cosmic. So I think they're going to introduce like some ground level characters, and they're going to have, maybe like 2 new ground level characters, as we've already got Ant-Man that they haven't done a 3rd film for. We've got Doctor Strange, they've only done 2 films for, and Black Panther they've only done 1 film for, or Doctor Strange they did 1 film, and Black Panther they only done 1 film for. So they've got 2 films to go with each one of those, and maybe they actually just introduce 1 more ground level character, and they do the next few movies for the other characters. And then they, like I said, and at the same time, they're building other cosmic characters and bringing those properties in and building that cosmic universe. And then once again, then maybe after they've done that, basically what they've already done, maybe another hand, maybe not a full 10 years down the line like they've currently done, but maybe 5-6 years down the line, who knows, maybe more than that. Maybe characters like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America come back and reprise their roles in some sort of way. Maybe not in huge ways, but maybe in bigger roles, because maybe they just kind of get sprinkled into some of them here and there along the way. But I actually kind of thought of something actually came to me when I was, I don't know, watching some of the trailers and some of the just thinking about some of my theories and everything. I actually kind of started to think about something. We've all talked about, like the snap being undone and things like that. And, I don't, in time travel and things like that, time travel just seems lazy. Undoing the snap just seems lazy. But maybe through all of it, maybe they actually end up maybe somewhat sacrificing themselves in the current moment. Maybe they go actually back and reset things, and maybe they don't necessarily undo the snap, but maybe they have to go back and start all over, like Peggy said in that voiceover from the trailer. Maybe they actually start all over again, and all these characters get basically they're all reset. And like a lot of people talk about Captain Marvel and its movie and everything. and how it was so far off from the character. Maybe they actually take and they reset the whole cinematic universe, and we actually see the character of Steve Rogers reset. Maybe we actually see where he actually, maybe he does stay back in the past, or he gets to a point where he's only frozen in the ice for so long, and then they actually find him and he comes back. More like the classic comic book iterations of these characters. And maybe we see a future where Hank Pym actually didn't split from S.H.I.E.L.D. and actually played along with him and became an Avenger. And I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he becomes Giant Man, and maybe the Wasp joins him, his wife, who was there being Wasp in the first place. Maybe we see a future that ends up being a little more like the future that we know in the comic books. And maybe Spider-Man still ends up coming along. Maybe we still get Tony Stark that comes along. Because some of these things are just like Destiny, things that can't be avoided. And I think that's what kind of like the thing of like Destiny and things like those things come into play. Some things just can't be changed. They're and maybe we get that, and maybe we get a reset of Carol Danvers' future this early in her character already. And maybe we actually get, because since we didn't really find out much about anything, a lot of the things in that movie we didn't really learn, and I talked about that before, we didn't really learn squat about Carol's past from the Captain Marvel movie. So maybe everything gets reset, and maybe we actually get a version of the real version of Captain Marvel, and maybe she's just Carol Danvers, and we get the actual story how it played out in the comic books, where she ends up getting his powers and things like that, and becomes Miss Marvel. And maybe we get Monica Rambeau that gets reset, and she actually becomes Captain Marvel herself, which did happen in the comic books and things like that. Maybe it's just going to reset in that sort of a way. And like I said, we get different iterations of these characters. I think it's something that could happen. Like I said, I don't know, just a theory, another theory that I had last minute the other day when I was sitting down thinking about it. Now they're gonna do the Eternals. Let's see if it's good. I can't wait to see the Eternals. Now there's some things going on with the Eternals movie. I just kind of wonder what they're gonna work with too, because obviously Hercules is I believe one of the Eternals, and that's gonna be interesting to see how they do that. So, and how exactly they bring them in and tease them and everything. And maybe that's something here that we're gonna get in Avengers Endgame. I don't really know. It's definitely something interesting. I can't wait to see. Like I said, they're going to be going more cosmic, so I want to see what they've got to offer out of the cosmic part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think that's all I've really got to for today's video. Like I said, the early reactions are in. They're overwhelmingly pretty good. Like I said, we've all noticed that John Campia's has kind of stood out, and he said that his review, like the first 2 acts were kind of mediocre. And like I just said, Marvel mediocre is still good. Okay, so Marvel mediocre is good. So him saying it's mediocre to me is a good thing. I guess you could say really the Marvel Cinematic Universe, kind of the building blocks that it was built on mediocrity. They took a lot of mediocre things and just sprinkled in some greatness here and there, just like these little Easter eggs that culminate into something greater. So I mean, and when I say mediocrity, I'm not saying that any of this is bad, because all these films they're good. Like I said, even their actual mediocre ones are good films. So Marvel mediocre is not bad. I'm hyped up to see this film. I just absolutely cannot wait to see this film. I hope you all are as well. Thank you all for tuning into this show today. I'm actually getting ready to go eat my dinner. Whew, look at that salad. Look at that big salad. Lots of stuff on here. You should be eating something like this, at least one of these every day. Something nice, good, big filling salad. I did have, some ribeye earlier before I started the show here, and we had this salad. So yeah, like I said, I am going to be doing a giveaway as soon as we hit 200 subscribers here on the channel. I'm giving away a copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman. So to get entered into that, you got to make sure that you're subscribed. You have to subscribe, and you got to leave a comment down in the comments below. Okay, make sure you leave a comment in this video or any of my videos from the past or going to the future until we hit 200 subscribers if you want to get entered into the giveaway for a copy of Warner Brothers Aquaman. Nerdy Blurb TV, thank you so much for being here. I was telling people at the, and maybe I better plug it again, because I did plug it at the beginning of the show, that in case you haven't seen it, Nerdy Blurb TV recently did a compilation video with a bunch of us different YouTube creators, in which he basically, I mean, he really got me hyped to see this film. Like I said, more than Marvel Studios has done, getting me hyped for this film. He put together this video of all his YouTube content creators talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, our Marvel Cinematic Universe experience. It is called the Fandom Initiative. I will leave a link down in the description, or you can even go back and watch the video that I just did yesterday. I did leave a link there as well, but make sure you check that out, please. So, thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content. And you will also get notifications when I'm getting ready to do one of these live streams. And in case you don't know, I do a live stream every single Friday called the Trailer Park Live. I do that every single Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you check out and get that to align with your local time in case you're watching from another country, as I have seen a few viewers on here today from other countries. But those announcements do go out if you're subscribed and have that little bell clicked so you get those notifications. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. Make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell so you get notifications anytime we have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, give it a thumbs down as well. It doesn't matter. But, you know, leave a comment down in the comments below. Let me know why you did or didn't like this video. I truly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for being here. You all have a very great day. Enjoy Avengers Endgame. The next time we speak will probably be Avengers Endgame, after Avengers Endgame, on Friday, the Trailer Park Live. I hope to see you all there. I will be doing my comic book pull list tomorrow. I will be putting that video out, talking about comic books on Friday, if I get any of them read, and talking about Avengers Endgame. Nothing spoilery. I won't talk any spoilers when I do the Trailer Park Live here on Friday. I'm actually going to see if I can put together a live stream with several other YouTube content creators as well. And I'm continuing to ramble on after I actually have done all my closings here. Oh man. Anyway, I want to put something together where maybe we can all get together and chat as a group. Hopefully we can get something like that put together, and maybe we can get Nerdy Blurb there involved with it. You know, he seems to know what he's doing. So thank you all for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. Enjoy the movie. Enjoy Avengers Endgame. I'm hyped to see this movie. I know you are as well. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Avengers Endgame. We will see you all mañana. Bye.